Hello everyone and welcome back to Lucky Loaders 15, where I'll be giving you my day 2 Aintree preview. Now before we get into that and I give you my best bets for the card at Aintree tomorrow, just need to go through a couple of things with you. Now I'm pleased to say that this video is being sponsored by the Stake Shop, who are doing a Grand National competition. So if you love your stakes, that's the place to go. But like I said, they're doing a Grand National competition where basically if you put an order through with them and you pick the Grand National winner, they'll give you a voucher for the full order of what you just purchased. So for example, if you decided to make an order and it came to £50, if you find the Grand National winner, they'll give you a full voucher on your next purchase of £50. However, if you didn't find the winner but your horse still ran well and made the frame and finished in the places, they'll give you a voucher for 33% or a third off your next purchase. So it sounds like a nice deal to me, especially if you like your stakes. I like mine on the rare side. So all you got to do is just hit the link in the description box below. It will take you to the website. You can see all the terms and conditions there, and all you got to do is when you're going to check out your order, you just need to put in the promo code the name of the horse. So for example, if you fancy Cloth Cap, just type in Cloth Cap and then the rest is history. But to enter the competition, you've got to make sure you get your entry in by April the 10th, which is obviously on Saturday, Grand National Day. So that's all you got to do if you want to be part of the competition. But like I said, just hit the link in the description box below and it will take you to their website. Also as well, before I give you my tips tomorrow, just a couple of other things. If you haven't done so already, make sure you check out my latest Grand National video where I give you my preview and tips. So if you want to check it out, there'll be a link in the description box below, and they are really my final selections and analysis for the big race on Saturday. Also as well, let's quickly just reflect on how our tips performed today. In the end, it was a bit of a mixed bag. We did have a couple of profits with our next best and Longshot. My next best late night pass for Gina Andrews and Tom Ellis and the Fox Hunters ran a great race. I thought turning into the elbow we might be able to just hang on and win, but cousin Pascal in the end was very game. He rallied and in the end he just went past a late night pass and got the job done. But late night pass gave us a really good run for our money, advertised at 7-1 last night each way, so we would have got a nice little each way return there. And the other tip of the day that was one that I felt I got away was Sully Dock, who finished like a steam train for Richie McClernand and Anthony Honeyball. But to be fair, Josh Moore judged it perfectly from the front on Editor DeGee, and sometimes it can be hard to peg back front runners around there. So I know some people might say, oh, why didn't Sully ride a lot more closer to the pace? But normally he's a hold-up merchant. But if you go back and watch the race, Richie was perfectly content just to be tracking kind of the first wave, and I think he did the right thing, you know. But yeah, it's just frustrating that the line came in time for Editor DeGee if you were on Sully Dock like I was. The real disappointment of the day was Eldorado Allen, who was my nap. I don't know what happened with him at all. I think really, yeah, you just got to learn that you can't back Colin Tizard horses at the moment. They're just not in the right form at all. I want to back a couple of theirs tomorrow, but you can't be confident about putting them up. I expect the likes of the Big Breakaway, Fiddler on the Roof, and even Oscar Elite to maybe run well, but yeah, it's just hard to really recommend them, especially with the stable confidence. So I'm going to be staying away now from the Tizard's team for the remainder of Aintree, but they're probably going to have a couple of winners tomorrow. But yeah, that's the way it goes. But hopefully we can find some winners tomorrow and upgrade some of those second place efforts. And we're going to be starting with my Longshot, which is going to be running in the 145, the first race there. I'm going with a horse here called Press Your Luck, which is available at 16-1 with SkyBet, who are paying 7 places on the race for Joshua Moore and Chris Gordon. Now, if you know me, you'll know that I love Chris Gordon. He's my local trainer and he's had a fantastic season. He's got a lot of nice horses on his hands at the moment as well, and Press Your Luck is definitely one of them. This horse ran a cracking race at Newbury a couple of weeks ago behind a Good Bull, who's well thought of from the Paul Nicholls stable. Press Your Luck as well had to give him a few pounds in weight, which was not an advantage to Press Your Luck anyway. But Press Your Luck, he was out there up tracking the pace throughout the race for the majority of the way, and did well to stay where he did. And to be honest, if you go back and watch the race again, if you think he's a little bit more fluent at the last, if you think he could have been a bit more fluent at the last, I think he would have won the race and might have just been able to get up. But he wasn't disgraced at all. And I think off a mark of 130, he still has a nice pot in him. I know the connections really rate him highly, and he's more effective on this better ground. Put a line through some of his efforts earlier on in the season when he was running on soft ground. But if you look at some of his other form when he was running at Newton Abbott, running at Uttoxeter, some of his earlier races, that was on a decent surface. And in fact, if you go back to his point-to-point career, again, a lot of his best form was on decent ground, and maybe in time he might be able to stay 3 miles. But if he can get under, if Josh Mortimer can get him into a good position from the get-go, I think he's got a really good chance of outrunning his race. Quite a lot of exposed types to me in this race, and I think Chris Gordon is definitely taking a real good opportunity here by engaging him, and I think off the mark of 130 he's got a great chance of making the frame. So that's why Pressure or Luck in the first race is going to be my long shot of the day. We then go to my nap, which is the 2-mile novice hurdle, the 220, the next race on the card. Now, a lot of people are going to be hoping that Dusart is going to be able to give the British some redemption, because, to be honest, our novice hurdlers have been pretty atrocious this year. It's been a really weak division, especially in the 2-mile division. But I don't know about Dusart. We've not seen him for a while, and even though he did create a good impression on his debut and he beat Soaring Glory and beat a couple of other nice rivals, and he trained by Nicky Henderson, it's a different level for him to come into a Grade 1 after we've not seen him for a while, and the fact that he did sustain an injury. I would want to take him on, and I think the one you should be taking him on with is For Pleasure, who's currently available at 11 to 1 with bookmakers at the moment, and I'm going to recommend a 1 point each way selection here for Harry Bannister and Alex Hales. Now, I think this horse has got a cracking chance of going very close tomorrow, and I can't really see him being knocked out of the frame. He's on ratings anyway. Dusart doesn't have an official rating, but he's joint best on official ratings with Dan Skelton's third time lucky. But yeah, I think For Pleasure's got a great chance. He's a horse who likes to get on with things. He likes to go from the front, and if he gets an easy lead tomorrow up on the pace, he might be hard to peg back. We've seen front runners can often stay there at the end when it comes to the races at Aintree, and the ground will be in his favour as well. He loves good ground, and he ran an absolute blinder, even though he was destroyed by Appreciate It in the Supreme. He ran really well for a long way, and he, to be fair, I don't think he looked out of place at all, and he ran a good, solid, respectable race. And I don't think the others in here are really much better than him. If you go through some of his other form, he won at Cheltenham earlier in the season, back in December, when he beat another Dan Skelton horse. And also as well, if you go further back, he was winning at tracks like Stratford from the front, where it can be really hard to peg back front runners. So I just think he's got a lot in his favour. Alex Hales as well, his team have been in great form. They actually had a great run from Miller's Bank today in the Grade 1 hurdle. I think at 11 to 1, I think For Pleasure's got a really good chance tomorrow, especially if Dusart doesn't turn up. And that's why he's going to be my nap of the day. I think he's going to go really close, and there's not really too much in here that I'd be worried about. So that's why he's going to be my nap of the day. We then go to my next best, which runs in the 325, and that is Nutswell. I'm going to recommend a 0.5 each way selection here. It's currently available with Bet365 at 9 to 1, and I'm going to recommend, like I said, a 0.5 each way selection for Danny McMenamin and Anne Hamilton. Now, this horse, we haven't seen him for a little while, not since he actually won over the course and distance when he won the Old Rowan Chase. That's a Grade 2, that was that day. Obviously stepping up into Grade 1 company tomorrow, and that was technically a handicap last time in the Old Rowan Chase. But the way he won that day, I thought was very, very impressive. He beat the likes of Clondor Castle, who's ran some decent races since then, giving him a little bit of weight. He beat the likes of Itchy Feet. There was others in there that boosted the form afterwards, including the likes of Magic Saint, Annie Mac. You had a couple of others in there as well if you go through it in a little bit more depth. And even on his penultimate start at Kelso, he beat I Right, who I keep banging the drum on for him. He's got many good form lines this season, and it just all stacks up for Nutswell. I think he's won 5 of his last 6. He might be 10, but he'll like this ground. He'll be up there at the pace, and we've seen that again, like I said today. It's definitely going to be good being handy at Aintree over the Chase course. And I think at 9-1, he's a little bit underestimated here. And Hamilton's been having a fine season as well. She's got some good runners in her yard. She's 2 from 2 with her last runners. And I just think Nutswell will be primed for this. And I think he'll run an absolute blinder. And I wouldn't be at all surprised if he went very close to winning. So that's why he's going to be my next best of the day. We then go to my last and final tip of the day, which runs in the Topham Chase, the 405. This is going to be an extra tip here, and I'm going to be taking a chance here on Modus in the colours of JP McManus for John Joe Neal Jr. and Paul Nicholls. He's currently available at the time recording of 11-1 SkyBet, and that was no, that's actually 12-1, I should say. He is, and he's available with William Hill, who are also offering 7 places in the race. Now this horse, Modus, he's not been seen since he finished 3rd in the Grand Sefton, but he was one of the only horses that day that came from the back, and he seemed to really love jumping over the national fences. If you go back and watch his race, he put in a lot of good jumps. He made 1-2 errors, but the errors, to be fair, that he made to him weren't bad errors at all. They're actually when horses, he was just literally behind a horse and he had to come in a little bit short. So yeah, I think you should really mark up that performance. Also as well, he won on his seasonal reappearance this season at Aintree. So his last 2 starts have come at Aintree and he's run some of his best efforts for a while. He has had his problems along the way. Before that, he was seen finishing 6th at Galway, but that was still a perfectly respectable run. But I think the key to him is coming in here fresh. Like I said, we've not seen him for a few months, and he brings a little bit of class to the race off a mark of 150, and I think he's more effective as well on this better ground. So I think there's a lot in Modus's favour tomorrow. Paul Nicholls is stable, been in good form, and I think Modus can give you a really good run for your money at a double figure price, and I think he'll go very close, and I can definitely see him making the frame. So he's going to round off my tips for tomorrow on day 2 of Aintree. So quickly then, just round through the tips. In the 145, Press Your Luck is the long shot of the day, 16-1, 0.5 each way bet there, 7 places SkyBet. In the 220, for pleasure is the nap of the day. We go 11-1, 1 point each way bet there. In the 325, we go Nutswell, 9-1, 0.5 each way only bet as the next best of the day. And then in the 405, we go with Modus as the extra tip of the day in the Topham. He's currently available at the time recording at 12-1 with William Hill, who are offering 7 places on the race. So they're the tips for tomorrow's racing. If you're enjoying these videos, please remember to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe here to my YouTube channel of Lucky Loaders 15. Also as well, if you want to follow me on Twitter, you can do so, where my handle is at LuckyLoader15, and that's the only place you can follow me on social media. And if you want to find out a little bit more about myself, my website address is www.chrisloaderracing.co.uk. So please gamble responsibly. Hopefully we can have some winners tomorrow, and we'll be seeing you soon.